Okay. Yeah. So, welcome to Talk to the Entities, specialty intro, specialty classes. Resume with our gorgeous Chandana Bawa. And, and thank you so much, everyone, for joining in. And let's start.
Thank you, beautiful Rekha. Thank you for that beautiful introduction. I am so happy to have all of you on. And this is a conversation that I've actually, Rekha and I have been speaking about since a while now about all the speciality classes that we have in Talk to the Entities. That one, Shannon O'Hara, who is the creator of Talk to the Entities, who happens to be Gary Douglas's daughter. She made these available to us facilitators about 2.5 years ago to facilitate. And since we have started to facilitate these specialty classes about 2 years now, everybody who's done the class, the Talk to the Entities class, and those who haven't done the Talk to the Entities class, but just choose the speciality calls, it opens up so much for them. So much for them. Because you see, when we, so has everyone done the Talk to the Entities class here? Or anyone
No,
not done it? Okay.
I haven't done.
Okay.
I
Yes,
have.
yes, yes.
Nino. All right. So there are a few who haven't done it. I see. All right. So Talk to the Entities is a 2 days class, which was created by Shannon O'Hara, who is Gary Douglas's stepdaughter. And the reason why it got created was something that Shannon had, which this reality was going to label as as schizophrenia, was going to label as a mental disorder, turned out to be an awareness to a level which was so beyond this reality that they were trying to stop it and press it and contract it and make it a wrongness by labeling it so she could finally be given the medication. And the medication generally is what shuts down our awareness. So Shannon, for all of us who know her, is this brilliantly, absolutely brilliantly aware lady who who can speak to 100 or maybe 1,000 entities and people around her at the same time. And she knows one from the other. And her awareness is so expansive. And at that moment, when she was a young girl, she didn't have the tools of access and she was driving herself crazy. Why do I say she was driving herself crazy? Is because she was going through these mood swings of a lot of anger, a lot of sadness, a lot of feelings of depression, lowness, and they were all the psychological effects of entity awareness, which in that moment of time was being labeled was actually just being labeled as bad behavior. You know, before she was taken to the doctor, her parents, her family, everyone said, Shannon is just badly behaved. She's just rude. She's horrible. She's awful. We don't know her moods from, one moment she's happy, the next moment she's terribly unhappy and she's depressed. She's just badly behaved. And then that bad behavior is what got her mom to take her to the psychologist or the psychiatrist, who labeled her as a phrenic, who said that she would have to be admitted in the asylum because that was the only way to treat her. And that was when Gary asked her one question. He said, Shannon, is this entity awareness? And at that time, it made no sense because there was no conversation around this. And Shannon said, I don't know why, but when you ask me this question, it just feels so light because the other tools of access were there. But this particular tool was not there. And she was like, my entire world seems to just expanded with that question of yours. And yes, it is. But I don't know what it means. And I don't know what that really means, but I do know. Thank you. I do know that it creates a lot of ease in my body and in my space. And from there, that was when the entity, the first talk to the entity class actually got created. Because that was when when Gary asked her about, what she was aware of. Because what Shannon is aware of with the entity world is something that's so beyond this reality, guys. Yet it includes this reality. So it's not like this is my reality of the animals and the plants and the human beings and everything that I can see. And then there's another reality, or what we can't see, which is called the ghosts and the spirits and the demons. No, not happening. It's all this reality. It's all included. It's all here, right now, as we speak. There's the table and the chairs and the laptop and your phone and your bed and your sofa with you. And there are lots of entities around you, which, because you can't see them physically, you assume that they're not there. So what is an entity? An access. So when you actually when you really go into a dictionary and actually type out an entity, the meaning that crops up is any energy that can be defined is an entity. By that definition, you are an entity too, because you too are an energy. So you are an entity, your business is an entity, your kids are an entity, your home's an entity. So when we are rejecting the very, very presence of an entity, when we are rejecting to talk to the entities, guess who all you are rejecting? I'm just saying what Shannon said.
Chandana,
Yup, you're rejecting yourself. Absolutely.
Chandana,
Yes,
can I
Rekha.
ask you a few questions here?
Yes, please do.
Like there are people who have done access and haven't done talk to the entities class,
Mm-hmm.
and when something like when intensity shows up or when we are head tripping, we generally use the tools. Maybe who
Yeah.
does this belong to, or we think that maybe I'm judging myself or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So how can someone differentiate the awareness of entities and the the other stuff that is going on?
That's a beautiful question, Rekha. Thank you for that one. So, when we have awareness of entities and we don't know what that is, we don't acknowledge it as an awareness, we never go there to even ask a question. So, we keep saying, who does this belong to? Return it to sender with consciousness attached. And in our head, it's got to belong to my grandmother or my grandfather or my husband or my children or my wife or my neighbor. But we never look at it as maybe it belongs to an entity that's probably in another dimension. Or maybe it belongs to an entity that's probably right now sitting in South Africa. Or maybe it just belongs to the earth, which is also an entity.
And can it be a case that when like there are times when we ask this question, who does this belong to, and it comes again and again because maybe uh, a, an entity trying to communicate with us,
Yeah. Sorry.
and
Yeah.
shall I repeat my
No, I
question?
heard you. Go ahead. I
Okay.
multitask.
Okay.
Yes, go ahead.
So so like suppose something is popping again and again, and I'm
Yeah.
asking, okay, who does this belong to, return it to the sender, and it's coming again and again. So can it be a case that like an entity is trying to communicate with me, or maybe I'm aware of the entity stuff, like what is going on with this entity, and this entity is asking for some help or trying to communicate. So how,
Absolutely.
and like how important it is, like there are people who think that maybe talk to the entities class is not for me. Like, there's no need.
I was one of them. I was
Me
like, I don't
too.
need to go to a talk to the entities class. I don't want to go there. I
Same
want,
here.
yeah, right? So many of us have been in that boat, and so many of us are still there. What is that?
So
That is us
can you
rejecting our awareness.
talk about, like, if we are attending so many classes, but we are like thinking of not attending talk to the entities class as if it's not important. Like, these classes are important, but talk to the entities is not.
Yeah,
So can you talk about the
yeah, I
importance?
would love to. Thank you for that, Rekha. So, number one, if a class is light for you, choose it. Talk to the entities is not for everybody. And I say that from the space of giving you all choice.
Really?
Yeah, really. Only if you want to choose it and change your life, it's for you. It's truly about how expansive are you willing to have your life? How much are you willing to receive? If you are truly willing to receive, you're never going to reject or talk to the entities class. Because when you step into a talk to the entities class, you're receiving, that was this, exponentializes to beyond, because suddenly you've included everything that you had rejected all your life. It's almost like, I'm not going to receive from this and from this and from this and from this and from that and from that. And suddenly when you're like, okay, I'll just go for an introduction to talk to the entities class. I'll just decide after that what I have to do. The moment you've made that choice, your life has already expanded. So it's not really about it being important, sweetheart. It's about you truly willing to be all of you. When you're willing to be all of you, you're willing to receive from you. And like I said, if you're not willing to receive from the entities, you're not willing to receive from you. We have a lady on this chat right now who was so terrified of entities. And she knows I'm talking about her. She was so terrified of entities. She laughs now. She's like, I am not doing that class. I will do any class but that class. Like, make me do any class. I will do body classes again and again. I will do foundation again and again. But I'm never going to do a talk to the entities class. And even when I reached Bombay, and she was to host me, and she was like, till the end moment, she was like, I don't know. So I just looked at her and I said, yeah, right. Don't do it. Just don't do it. And well, I'd love her to come on and share what changed for her after the class.
You know,
Just a second. Just a second. 1 second. No? Yes, it's me. My whole world has changed after that class. It's contributing to me so much I can't even really share. I don't know how much to share. It's changed my life, really. And thank you, Chandana, for asking me to host that.
Thank you for choosing it. Because till the end, she was like,
Absolutely.
I don't know. I don't know if I want to host
I
it.
wasn't even stepping inside that door. I
Yeah.
was so freaked out about even the thought of it. कि ऐसा कुछ होगा. Oh my God.
And
I'm
was it
totally
really
loving it.
freaky? Or did it bring you out of all the lies that you had bought about the
Absolutely,
entities?
absolutely.
Yeah.
Main thing, the distractor implant of fear, like it mellowed down, I think 90% there.
Yeah.
It
Awesome.
was almost gone. And oh my God, it is like now it's so amazing. I just clear walk-ins and entities for people and their lives change. And I feel so grateful each day for doing this
Oh,
class. I mean, I can't thank Shannon, you, and whoever, you know,
thank you. Thank
whoever was a contribution for this class. Oh my God, how much I can thank you all.
thank you.
If I
Thank
start telling you, I think I told you a few days ago how so many people's lives has changed just because of these clearings.
Yeah. And so dramatically and so quickly.
So dramatically, overnight,
Overnight.
overnight.
It's not not even an hour long of bars that you have to give anybody. You just have to sit with them and just go, entity truth, who are
Absolutely,
you? Truth, who are you? Truth, who are you?
absolutely. The
And truth,
best part of this talk to the entities, what I like is you don't have to be present. You don't have to touch somebody. You don't have to, the person doesn't have to come to you. You don't have to go to US to clear it. You just have to sit in one place and do it. And the person is like thanking you. Oh, my life has changed. My life has changed. This has changed. That has changed. Oh my God. It's like, wow. It's like, remote control से उनकी life change हो गई. That easy.
yes. And
So
what
much
else
fun.
is truly possible from there? From
Absolutely.
that
Absolutely.
space of so much of ease, having so much of ease, and with the lady who was so scared, so terrified, could never sleep at night, to
And
somebody
I'm
who,
like,
yeah,
absolutely. I think after I did your class for 3 days, I was like, I'm not used to it. So don't keep away. Don't even come close to me.
yeah,
I was like, पता नहीं मुझे क्या हो जाएगा.
yeah.
And now I'm doing more
And
and more,
that's a,
choosing more and more of
yes.
this class.
And that is the 2 day class. That is what the 2 day class actually creates, a lot
Absolutely.
of ease in your
Absolutely.
life. And the beauty of, along with the 2 day class, we have these wonderful specialty classes that Rekha invited me to speak about. And I'm so grateful to you, Rekha, to actually invite me for that, because the specialty classes have so much more information
Yeah.
than even the just the beginnings, or even if you do the advanced class. The specialty
Yeah.
classes, like we have so many of them. Rekha, you want to just rattle off the names?
Chandana, can I ask
Yeah.
you something? What is
Yes,
about
please.
money and entities? Money and entities. What's that?
So that's a beautiful class. That's so.
What do you
So
talk about in that
we've
class?
called it. I mean, Shannon's named a specialty class, money and entities. It's really about receiving.
Wow.
Yeah, it's really
Wow.
about receiving. And every time that I
Amazing.
facilitated this class, every time for myself and for people, everybody receives a
Wow.
lot more than what they thought they would ever receive.
Superb.
It's not just money, it is money, or generally, money shows up from some random
Basically
place.
receiving yourself and
You're
basically receiving
yes,
everyone else as
yes,
well.
yes.
Wow.
And
So amazing.
receiving abundance, receiving classes, receiving gifts, receiving
Wow.
sex, um, receiving your partners, receiving everything. And of
Wow.
course, money is abundance. Money is
Yes.
you. You are money. So it's really about
Hmm.
receiving all of you. It's such a beautiful class. So that is what money and entities is about. It's a
Can I
beautiful,
add something
powerful.
here?
Yes, please, Rekha.
Uh, for money and entities, like since I'm creating with Chandana, I know I have attended to three classes of money and entities. So it's like there are beings in the universe who would like to contribute to you, your business, and your financial reality. And it's in this class you start to receive, and you start to receive the contribution they would like to be to
Be to
your.
you. Yes, absolutely. And you also start to recognize who can actually contribute. A lot of us randomly say, "Hey, entities, can you help me? Can you bring me money?" A lot of that backfires. A lot of that is not really what's required in those 10 seconds. But when you do something,
Backfires as in? Backfires as in
backfires,
how?
as in, let's say, if you are going to ask somebody to bring you money who's a bankrupt person,
Oh.
is he really going to bring you money?
Hmm.
I mean, if he died when he was bankrupt, what does he know
Hmm.
about money? Not much, right?
So but backfire क्या हुआ? ठीक है नहीं आया. That's all
Yeah,
right.
that's the backfiring, right? When you're thinking
Okay.
that something's going to show up and
Okay.
pretty much ulta.
Okay.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. That's money and entities.
Chandana, can we talk about addiction and entities now?
Sure, yes, for sure. But before that, there's a
Uh,
question from Paluk and
yes.
Yes,
Pushpa.
yes, Chandana. So my daughter, she's here listening to the call. She's 8 years old and she's asking why we talk about entities so much in Access. She's attended like 4 bars classes by now, and she's
Oh, and they talked about entities in the bars classes.
yeah. I don't know, where did you hear about the entities?
Bars classes.
Bars classes.
Okay. Well, so first and foremost, for all the bars facilitators, including us while we facilitate a bars class, we don't really speak too much about entities, because for a random person like me who walks in for a bars class, who's never done a class before, and my facilitator starts ranting about entities, I'll freak out. I'll be like, Access is crazy. They talk about entities, right? So initially it's like really not advisable to speak too much about entities. Yeah, we do speak about the Beckhamix entities in the bars class, but to speak about entities, not everybody's really willing to receive that. Having said that, Paluk is a child who's so damn aware that she's probably one child who's asked a question for everybody on this call right now. Right? It's like, well, why does everyone talk about entities? And what I would like to ask you, Paluk, here is, what do you know about entities that you would like to share with us?
What do you know about the entities? What? Tell. Do you know anything? Is there anything that you're aware of?
That everything is an entity.
Everything is an entity. Okay. Okay. Anything
Wow,
else you want to share?
we just put it all together for everybody online right now.
Okay.
Thank you, sweetie pie.
Thank you.
Her name is Pranaya. Her
Thank
mother's
you,
name is
Pranaya.
Palak. Thank you, Chandana.
Thank you, Pranaya. And Pranaya, I also want to let you know, darling, that entities is just one tool of access consciousness. Entity is just a tool. Just the way we have a tool like body processes, we have a tool called Talk to the Entities. And what if we didn't make entities significant? What if it was just another tool? Would you then be willing to receive it? How much good can we receive from the world of entities if we didn't attach any form, structure, or significance to it? Everything that doesn't allow you to receive that with the total ease of who you be, will you all please destroy and uncreate that? Right, wrong, good, bad, pop, all 9 shots, boys and beyonds. Hindu, that's another magician sitting there who didn't want to do the class, and she changed her fucking life.
Chandana, I wanted to ask you one more question.
Yes,
What would be an appropriate age to introduce kids to the entity class?
When they go into their mother's womb. That's the time you want to introduce them. Guys, it's just like asking, when should we give water to a child? The kids already know. The kids already know. Do you remember when you were a child, did you ever speak with yourself? In the bathroom, in the bedroom, did you ever play with yourself, with your own imaginary friends? Any of you?
Yeah.
I know I did. Yeah, we all did. We all did. And then we stopped when we were told that that's not the way to be. You have to have real friends in bodies. So we shut down our awareness We shut down. We closed our awareness to those friends who had no bodies, so we could no longer have fun with them. That was a crazy thing to do. So would we rather do that to our children and then bring them into the space of acknowledging that what they've always known is true? Or would we rather, just like my daughter, she was just 10, my younger one, she had this crazy awareness of entities where she actually used to see entities. And I was freaking out as a mother. I wasn't in access at that time. And I was like, fuck, man, I need to take her to a psychologist. She insists there's a little girl in her room who comes every day to talk to her because she wants Noor to help her. I was like, are you mad, Noor? Come on out. And she's like, no, Mom, I have to talk to her. She was 10 at that time. 10. And I was a very much this reality mother. And I'm so grateful to the universe, because the universe, well, that's the moment when I chose access, and my whole life changed because I took her for this class instead.
Thank you, Chandana.
You're welcome, sweetheart.
How old was Noor when she did the Talk to the Entities class?
She was 10 and a half.
Wow.
And she says, I am so grateful to the tools of access. I'm so grateful to Talk to the Entities class, especially because now I know I am the dominant entity of my reality. And when there are entities around, I just have to tell them, hey, back off. Can you come to me later on? Right now, I'm not in the space. Just the way she would probably tell another friend, or just the way she would probably tell a maid. She's choosing to be the dominant entity of her reality. And I didn't need to take her to the psychiatrist and put her on bloody fucking medication. So, are you all willing to acknowledge that you've always had awareness of entities as a child?
Yes.
Yes. And everywhere you are made wrong for that. Everywhere you were told you're crazy, you're wrong. Don't do that. Don't talk like that in front of people. They'll think you're mad. Don't tell them you saw an entity. They'll think you're crazy. Don't tell them you heard someone call out to you when there was nobody there. And you believed all of that. And you started to shut down your awareness. It's now the time. It's now the time to claim, own, and acknowledge it. Right, wrong, good, bad, what, walk, all 9 shots, boys and beyonds. Cool. Yeah. Did we have another question?
Yes. Can I?
Yes, please, sure.
I had put it on the WhatsApp also. How do we demand money from the entities?
That comes under the specialty class, money and entities. You've done it, Indu, with me?
No, I haven't. I want to do it.
Okay. We are planning one, I think, in February, right?
Okay. Not an issue.
17th of February, I think, is a date. I don't know. Rekha knows.
19.
Yeah, 19th. Yeah. So that's 19th. Actually, there's so much in detail that to give you just one little thing wouldn't be time to you. But there's so much. But you can start by asking. You can just simply start by asking.
Yes.
You would ask a friend. Can you bring me the money, please?
No, Yes. I ask it during my business hours.
Yeah. Awesome. Wonderful.
I do that.
You know it.
I do.
You just want to hear it from me. Go on, Indu. I know you.
Come on, you're an angel. I know when it comes out of the mouth of angel, then it becomes reality.
I know I'm greater than you. Well,
I know.
Pock and pod, frock and
you.
pod, bad. I don't know. I'm good at that. Pod and pock on 9 shots.
Yeah.
This lady was so sick during the class. Hats off to her.
I truly salute you, woman. She's got, can I share about you, Indu?
Thank you, Chandana. Thank
Yeah, so she
you.
has diabetes. I said, can I share about you?
Yes, yes, you can.
So she has
You
diabetes, and
can.
I was in Nagpur facilitating
You
this
can share.
class, and her sugar level
You
kind
can
of
share.
started going all topsy-turvy. And she thought she was going to faint because she began sweating, and she was like, I need to go to the doctor.
Zooming out.
I was like, no. She's saying, I'm going to throw up. I am sick. I said, you don't need to go to the doctor. You don't need to. You want to throw up? Throw up. I'll give you a bucket. But you sit in class. She sat in class for those 2 days. And after that, this woman's body and her health, well,
It was such a release,
yeah.
It was such a release.
Yeah. I don't recognize this lady now. How much her body has changed. It's been magic.
Everything is changed
Yeah.
in my life.
Yeah. What else is possible? Yes, honey. Who was that?
Kavita here.
Kavita? Hi,
Kavita
Kavita.
here. Hi, Chandana. How are you?
Very good. How are you?
It's amazing to even hear from you. It's really
Thank
nice.
you. Thank you.
Chandana, I wanted to know about addiction. When people have addiction of any kind. So if you do that class, can you help somebody get out of addiction? As in, how does that really work?
So we have specialty classes. So money and entities is one. Addiction and entities is another one. Mental illness and entities is another one. Relationship and entities is another one. What else? Walk-ins and entities. House clearing and entities. Communication and entities. Yes, darling. All of these we have. So I facilitate all of them. And what I have actually, you asked me this question, and till a few months, till a year back, Shannon did not want to facilitate this class. She was like, there is not enough information out there for people to really receive. And even if they receive it, they won't know what to do with it. So we kept asking Shannon, can you please do a specialty call on addiction and entities? Because there was just a couple of lines in the 2-day class about, alcohol and drugs and food and sex and spending of money. And I mean, you look at any side, any space, there's so many addictions that we can actually choose in our life, right? And she was like, no, now's not the time. And then suddenly one day she gets up and she announces this call. And when I personally did that class, so I was not addicted to alcohol or to drugs or to smoking or to food maybe a little. And I was not addicted to any of the substances that this reality generally says you have to be addicted to if you are an addict. You get what I'm saying? Yeah?
Yes, I do.
There was no substance that I was addicted to, but there was a huge pull to do this class. And I was really wondering, what is that pull? Because I was probably the first or the second one who signed up for this class. I was like, I am bloody doing this class. And when I sat down, so she did this class over 3 calls with us. And when I sat down in the first call, my entire body was shivering. I was vortexing 10 minutes into the call. And I was like, what is this? So I sent her a message saying, my entire body's vortexing. I don't know how I'm going to see myself through the next few hours. And strangely, when I wrote that, almost 75% of the people on that call were already vortexing. And most of us were not addicts. How many lifetimes have we been addicts?
Chandana, the same
How
is
much?
happening to me now.
Awesome. I'm happy to hear that, Shivani.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
I'm shivering.
Awesome. What are you releasing? Because how many lifetimes have we been addicted? That just because we are not aware of it, we don't acknowledge it. And how many of us are addicted to destroying our realities?
Yeah.
That for me was huge. And when she asked us about, are you addicted to destroying your body? Are you addicted to destroying your reality? Are you addicted to destroying your money flows? Are you addicted to destroying your relationships?
So true for me.
Absolutely. It could be
Just you,
patterns
Shivani.
that we are creating in our
Just
life.
you.
I said it could be patterns that we are creating in our life, what we are addicted to.
Yeah, and how often are you not aware of the patterns
Yeah,
as an addiction?
yeah.
No, Chandana, I'm asking if somebody else has this and probably substance or anything.
Yeah.
Can, after doing this class, addiction and entities can be help us? Will this class
Well,
enable us?
I would like to put it this way. You have more information to change your reality. Where you didn't have the information before, you have the information now. And now it's a choice.
No, will we be able to help somebody, not yourself?
Okay. So if you're choosing it to empower someone to make a different choice, yes, you will have all the tools. But if you're coming from the space of trying to help someone, we have to make them less than us, darling. And that would really be a disempowering of them.
Okay.
So what energy, space, consciousness, choice, magic, miracles, and possibilities can you and your body be that can have you empower people around you for them to know, be, perceive, and receive the energy that can change the lies of addiction.
Yes.
And everything that doesn't allow that times a godzillion, will you all destroy and uncreate it all?
Yes.
Right, wrong, good, bad, pot, pock, all nine shots, boys and beyonds. Yes, you can empower the world to change. It has helped me a lot in my sessions with people. In fact, I used to go to a rehab and help them over there initially with the tools of access by just sharing the tools of access. But with this class, working with the patient, with the young 15-year-old children who are addicted, young kids who are still in school, and they're just, oh, auntie, it's just a one-time thing. No, it's not a one-time thing, guys. You got to be aware of that. Stop fooling yourselves. Stop telling yourself lies. Everything that is, may destroy and uncreate it all. Right, wrong, good, bad, pot, pock, all nine shots, boys and beyonds. Like I said, addiction is not just a substance. When you are addicted to destroying your life, you will reach out for a substance. That's how it works.
Can I come in here for a minute?
Yes, sweetheart.
The whole thing of addiction, I mean, I don't have an addiction to substance too, but it's about more of unconsciousness that we're addicted to.
Yeah.
To destroying our lives. And I think it's about a lot of patterns from past life and a lot of things and a lot of choices, and there's so much to it. It's not one thing. So this class really gets you to that space where you can finally choose. You can see what you're choosing.
Yeah.
And then you have a choice. Okay, do I continue choosing this, or do I go to choose what creates my life?
Absolutely. Thank you for that share, Reshma, because it's so much easier to choose to be addicted to unconsciousness than it is to consciousness. And why is that? Like Dane says, that simply because there's not enough of consciousness on the planet. This reality is about unconsciousness. How much are we addicted to this reality that doesn't allow us to change our reality? Right, wrong, pot, pock, all nine shots, boys and beyonds.
Chandana,
Yeah?
I'm sorry, but I'm getting a reminder we have a next meeting.
Oh, I forgot. Okay, it's 8 o'clock.
It's
Oh,
8.
8:15. Okay, guys.
It's 8:15,
Thank
Chandana.
you. Thank you for joining us. Thank you so much, friends. Thank you. We do have the entity and the addiction
Thank you,
call
Chandana.
tomorrow, and we would love you all to be on. It's going to be about a 2.5 hours to a 3 hours call. You are going to get a lot of information, a lot of clearings, and the replay, and it's for 7,500. So if you would like to join
Timing
us,
is? Timing is?
timing, Rekha, timing 6:30 to 9:30.
6 to 9.
Yeah, 6 to 9. Okay. So please join
Beautiful.
us if you would like more information around that. All right.
Thank you,
Thank
Chandana.
you.
God bless
Thank
you.
you.
Bye.
Thank you so much. Bye. Good
Well,
night.
thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Love you all.
Bye. Bye. Bye.
Love you.